Alright, let's go ahead and get into this game here, Shattered Temple. Game number 4. First game of part 2, TvZs. Okay, so. Yeah, gonna be the same build again. Somebody on Reddit asked me, actually let me pull this up here and give him credit. It was Cleo from Reddit asked me to instead of focusing so much on mechanics, he wants me to go over macro and when to add production facilities and stuff. So there's no real ideal way to do that. It depends a lot on what happens during the game, and you're going to have to react and add facilities as the game goes on. So I'll try to keep that in mind, like keep that as a focus about why I'm adding things when I'm adding them. And yeah, I'll try to do that for all of my videos that come out after this one. So if you guys, again, if you have any suggestions for me, anything you want to change about my commentary, or you'd like me to change, anything you want me to focus on or not spend so much time focusing on, just let me know. I have a thread on Team Liquid, which actually I'll link in the comment section, I mean the description. And I have a post on Reddit where people are telling me stuff and giving me feedback. So thanks to all of you who are giving me feedback. I really appreciate it. I want to make these the best that I can. So, yep. Same build. Look, we're going to scout here as the Rax is building. I decided to always scout unless they're masters, because they might not go hatch first. So I'm just going to do that all the time. So let's see. So no creep there, so he's obviously not close air. And since they took out the close position spawn, he can only be cross map. So this Overlord with my SCV, I see it going to that position, so I just send my Marine there, and maybe I can kill it. Maybe not. So I see he did end up going hatch first. I want to keep an eye on his gas count. That's what you want to look for when you go into the Zerg space. So I see spawning pool 75% complete, and I go ahead and start my factory. Meanwhile, these Marines are going to try to catch the Overlord. So I see there that he doesn't have excuse me, he hasn't taken guys off gas. And this Overlord actually looks like it's going to go down, which is a pretty nice catch, actually. So yeah, he's not taking guys off gas yet, so it definitely could be some kind of Roach or Baneling follow-up. So I have to get ready for that. I decided to throw it down in base, just in case he decides to build a lot of speedlings. And you can do this cute thing with SCV, like sort of block the lings. I should have pressed hold position instead of stop, but it doesn't really matter. 2 Marines can kill 2 Zerglings any day. Now I can start my Hellions, and just hold a watchtower here. Start the tech lab with the barracks. And then you're gonna get stim. I send this in to try to get another scout on him to see what tech he's going. And meanwhile, I send my Hellions down to try and deny creep and stuff. So I do end up getting in, and I see that a Roach Warren Evo chamber is building. So I'm gonna build. I'm gonna add Marauders into my mix here. And he lets me in, and I get a drone kill. If you don't see a spine crawler in front and there's nothing there, I want you guys to go pick off like 1 drone and then get out immediately. Don't try to like go all the way behind the mineral patch and go like, oh my god, it's like such a big blunder. I can kill so many drones. Like, you really need your Hellions to stay alive. Don't do anything that you're not sure if your Hellions will survive it or not. So now I'm just gonna build a bunker there, just in case he does some roach stuff, and then start a Marauder. Meanwhile, all my depots now are going to go into my wall with the natural, and these Hellions are just going to patrol outside its base to 9 creep. So there's a tumor that I can pick off, so I'll go ahead and pick that off and get away. I'm assuming that you guys have sort of gone over the build from part 1, so I'm not going over the build in that much detail in this game. I hope you don't mind. Go back to the Hellions every once in a while. If you're not going to keep an eye on the Hellions, like you don't feel that you have as good multitasking as a super high master player or something, then you can just keep them at the watchtower. And if you notice, what I did there is that even though the creep tumor finished, I knew its location. So my Hellions were in a position where their splash damage would hit the creep tumor if I attacked the queen. So what I did was I actually killed that creep tumor by targeting the queen. But yeah, what I was saying is that if you don't feel that your multitasking is quite developed enough, just go ahead and send the Hellions to some safe place on the map, and then every once in a while concentrate on them and do what you can, and then go back to that safe place. Sort of like what you see me doing here with the watchtower. So his roaches look like they're just going to be defensive roaches, which means that he's using them to secure his base and not be under any pressure from the Hellions. While if he was pressuring hard with the roaches, it would be kind of all in, or it would be super bad. So I feel pretty safe. This Overlord, he was careless and left it there, so just go ahead and snipe that. And the medevacs are starting, so soon I'll have my medevacs out and I'll be able to push him and see if I can do any damage or not. I break down the rocks before I go, again, because I want to be taking my third as this pressure goes on. And on this map, I do take the gold base and I make it a planetary, because why not? I mean, like, if I can secure the gold and mine that out fast, even if the game goes on, I'll have already mined it out, and the base in the corner behind the gold is much safer and easier to defend. So if I mine out the gold first, that'll put me really ahead, and then the rest of my bases will be safe to defend later. So right here I'm moving out. I deselect one Marine to keep him at the watchtower, and my combat shield just finished up actually. I started a turret there just in case he's got mutas on the way. And you want to save a scan when you do this push because you want to kill creep tumors. And looks like he only built roaches, no banelings, and if that ever happens, you can just go right ahead and do damage. So he's even pulling drones, so that means this game is over. He doesn't have any units. I've done this in every game. Every time my new medevac comes out, I just fill it and send it. I want you guys to get in the habit of doing that too, unless you really feel that you need to focus on other things, like I don't know, just some basic macro stuff. Once you get better though, and you're actually starting to do drops, I want you to do this kind of thing where when your medevac comes out, you just send them. So yeah, he just leaves. So that was good, I guess. Oh, I was promoted to platinum. Cool. And I got the medevac portrait, which of course is the best portrait. So I equipped it before I go into this next game here. Alright. Same map, Shattered Temple. So you're gonna see a lot of the same stuff. Actually, no, this game is kind of weird. He does some weird stuff. So we'll just take a look at it. Let me think about big picture topics. So let's just go over that last game a little bit. How did that feel to watch? Did it ever feel like I was under any pressure? I don't think so. Just, yeah, I mean, like, I made the bunker because of the roaches, but those were defensive roaches. He never had any intention of coming to attack me. So that build just feels so good, and I was getting my tanks out, rallying guys to my natural, meanwhile getting my third up and putting on a lot of aggression. And even if Mutalisks had been out, imagine what he could have done with them. Okay, so right here, 1 minute and 15 seconds on Shattered Temple, you can send an SCV through the close air to spot for an Overlord, and then send it back. You can do that on Shakur's Plateau at 2 minutes and 35 seconds as well. If you guys memorize those timings, it's fine. You can try it. You don't have to. You can just send the scout anyway. But yeah, last game, like, imagine if he had me list out. So first of all, I was building turrets. Like, one turret is plenty to hold off however many mutalisks he'll have out at that time. But even if he had him out, like, really, what's he gonna do with him? He's not gonna be able to harass because I was attacking his front. He'd have to morph banelings and he'd have to use the mutas to fight my army. So it just feels really good when the Zerg is unable to put pressure on you. So it looks like I'm getting a bit of lag here, so I go close my internet browser just in case that helps. But yeah. So I know he's close there, so I just go send the scout to see if it is going to be a hatch first and to check his gas timing and stuff like that. Other than that, the build is identical.
Not enough minerals.
I put my gas on the lower gas because I noticed the Overlord flew north, so anything I can do to delay him getting information, I'll do it.
Upgrade complete.
So I noticed he did go hatch first, and I just scout his gases. I want to see what kind of gas timings he's going for. So it looks like he has a gas and his pool's almost done. And he's got almost, he's mined almost 100, but we want to check if he's going to continue to mine past 100. So I'm actually bad here, and I forget to lift my barracks to make the reactor for a bit, so it's kind of late. But it doesn't really hurt in the big picture of things. So I'm sending back my SCV to check his gas. Meanwhile, I'm getting ready to make a orbital in my main. I mean, a command center in my main, just because the Lings are probably going to be out in time to deny it, simply because my reactor was late. So that in turn makes my Hellions late, and the Hellions are timed just perfectly to come out and defend the low ground command center, if you did the build correctly. Alright, so land that baby down and make 2 Hellions. And we're going to start a tech lab here. I noticed on the middle of the map my SCV is being chased. You can see because of the blue squares. So I just use the hotkey and bring him back, and he should live. An SCV can basically cross any of the whole maps if it's on full health by slow links chasing it and still survive. Here I was really careless, and I let like 4 lings kill a Hellion. Actually, there was 6 there. That's why I assumed it was only 4, but that, like, don't let that happen to you. Never lose these starting Hellions.
Not enough minerals.
Alright, so I have 3 now. I should have 4, but I only have 3. And I'm moving out. Once again, we're just going to try to deny creep. And you can engage lings like this off of creep. It's nice if you bring your Hellions to a spot in the ground that you can kite lings around, like a hole, like there is right there.
Upgrade complete.
Or like a cliff wall or something. Like in the middle of Shakur's Plateau, there's all those cliffs. Or on Antigua's shipyard, you know, between the main and the third, there's that little hole in the ground. You want to be attacking lings around there because it gives you the best sort of position to attack them in without taking any damage.
Not enough minerals.
So I'm starting my wall here. I saw he had a bunch of speed links, so that's an indicator to me that he might be aggressive. So I go ahead and get a bunker in the wall. I go back to see if he's spreading creep. I see Spinecrawler and I check what this is, the Evo chamber. So it's not a Roach Warren. He could very well still have a Roach Warren, but I just know that one isn't. So it's always just good to check. So right here, I get my second gas because my eBay went down, and then after my factory is done building that reactor and starting the starport, that's about the time that I'm going to want to get my third gas.
Go ahead. Are you ready for this? Go, go, go.
And there's the Overlord scouting in my main, so I bring Marines back to get it. And you always want to be checking the minimap, because notice how I checked the minimap and I saw Lings were coming, so I was able to micro back a little bit and take 0 damage on my Hellions while killing a whole bunch of Lings. So
Landing zone.
I land that barracks on the reactor, and I can start 5 Marines at a time now.
Gonna give me orders?
And I was going to try to kill that Overlord, but I decided not to. I think it's going to get to the cliff in time, so I won't be able to. I don't want to lose a bunch of Marines on the map if he has a bunch of speedlings that I can't take care of with the Hellions. Okay, so I'm starting my medevacs here. I really should have been more diligent about killing the third rocks, but I sort of forget to this game. It turns out not to really matter. I mean, like, I get them eventually. I build a couple turrets at 10 minutes. I like to throw my turrets down at 10 minutes
Add-on complete.
just as a standard time. So there I was bad and I let my Hellions get surrounded for a little bit, but I was able to keep some of them alive because he actually didn't surround them. He just attack moved into him, I think. But yeah, now I have my force out. Now I'm moving to apply some pressure.
You gonna give me orders?
I deselect one Marine and keep it at the tower, and he sends another Overlord in that I can kill. There's a creep tumor. I'm going to snipe that.
Upgrade.
And there's my +1 that just finished, so I can get... so this attack is even more powerful.
Additional supply depots required.
And I go in and kill creep tumors. It's really important to kill creep tumors.
Ready for dust off.
SCV ready.
I get my third command center. That really should be going down at the natural. It's a much better place to put it. I'm not sure why I put it there. So because this is Shattered Temple, you can't really go up to the natural if he's got a bunch of spine crawlers. So instead I just load up my dropships and then go around. I drop one of those, that one that you just see that's going to his third, and the other two are going to his main. And I see he has a whole ton of Lings, and I'm now I have to retreat to my wall and defend it there. So it looks like those Lings were just to get rid of my units in the middle, and he doesn't really want to attack me or anything. It could be Banelings. He could be morphing a ton of Banelings incoming right now. It would be a super late Baneling bust, but I siege up my tanks just in case. And if he is doing that, then this Marine drop is basically going to end the game if I can defend the Baneling bust, even with losing my entire natural, because he won't have anything at home. So he has to pull back and defend this. Now this drop I go to kill the third if it's there, and it isn't there. But I kill his Baneling nest and his spawning pool, and I drop the gold just in case he took that one instead. And as you can see on the left side of the map, that path that I made the medevac fly in scouted the other two bases that he could have taken.
Not enough minerals.
And I drop it the gold, and I see that he was trying to break down the rocks, but he didn't. So he's on 2 base now. That's why he has so many Lings, because he's just been making units, and that's it. So my third is up and floating to the gold, and that means I'm pretty ahead, because he's still on 2 base. And I've killed his spawning pool and Baneling nest, so he decided to remake those. Now I move out with these units to kill the gold rocks and to try to establish a position. Meanwhile, I'm dropping my guys ready to send them in if I feel like I have an opportunity to. And here we go. So obviously he didn't have an Overlord there, so I send both in at the same time just to give him a hard time. And I kill the spawning pool and kill a gas and kill drones. Just kill whatever you can. So I get out of there, and I kill the spawning pool again. I kill Queens of the Natural, and it's just do so much damage when you attack 2 places at once. Unfortunately, the mutas came out, and I do lose both of those medevacs that are full of units. This one, I go to the cliff because the Marines will be able to defend from the mutas on the cliff without the Lings to support them. And I rally guys to my main. I just hit 5 and right-click in my main so that all my Marines that are new go there to defend the mutas.
Mineral field depleted.
But he doesn't have a spawning pool again, so I can pretty much defend the front with what I have because I know he hasn't been making Zerglings for a while. And I send a whole bunch of SCVs to the gold. You want to mine out the gold as fast as possible. So, like, in theory, if you only had one base, your main, and it was fully saturated, and you went to you made a new base at the gold, you would really want all your SCVs to be at the gold, basically.
Complete.
And then once it's done, you can send them back. But it's really good to transfer a lot more SCVs than you would normally think you should to the gold. So I'm getting my new upgrades. These Marines I'm just keeping back just in case he accumulates Mutilisks and then decides to do a big attack. I send my Hellions to the watchtower ahead just to scout. And moving out with my big army here. Shattered Temple is kind of annoying just because it's so open. But I'm so ahead that I can do an attack like this. You never want to go on to creep. Always siege up at the edge of creep and then scan and clear it.
This better be good. You gonna give me orders?
So I load up my medevac to drop into the gold again. And as you can see, he started to take it. He's got a bunch of Mutilisks, so he's going to be able to clean that up, no problem. So I scan and kill the creep here. And I can start moving forward slowly. I go ahead and scan and kill again. So there's his army. I just sacrificed these 3 guys to kill that new creep tumor. And get that medevac out. I try to save the Marines, but only one survives. But anyway, so as you can see here, I'm just moving up because I killed those creep tumors. I'm starting to move my tanks up slowly, and meanwhile I'm rallying them behind, and I move them up in groups. And right now I'm maxed, so now I want to think about building more bases, more production, more everything. Because I'm not going to be spending money on units. I got a bunch of Thors because of the Mutalisk count, so... Oh yeah, and my friend has the collector's edition, so you guys get to see the cool Thors with the little wings on the side. But yeah, so now with these tanks in this position, my Marines can sort of dart forward and do damage and then run back. And as you can see, he's just going like, screw this, I'm gonna kill this guy, so he attacks with everything. And I didn't really micro that much here. Basically, all you want to do is stim all your units, and if there's, and then just sort of attack, move forward, so they automatically form an arc. And then whatever units Banelings are running toward, you just make a little box and move those back, and you sort of spread them in a half circle style sort of thing. I don't know. The main thing is that you want all your Marines attacking at the same time.
Additional supply depots required.
So my 2-2 is done, but I don't have enough gas for 3-3, so I should have been getting gases a little bit earlier. Now I'm just moving forward really slowly, letting my medevacs heal the Marines, and doing a little pre-splitting. But yeah, so there you go, he just Banelings again, so I just sort of move back and it takes care of it really easily. And as you can see, that's how much army I have left over, there's nothing he can do. GG. Alright, so there's one more game here. This is Antigua Shipyard. It's going to be Antigua Shipyard. And we'll get right into it. So, yeah, this map is a really, really cool map for TvZ because your third is so close to you that you're able to take it pretty easily in almost every game, every TvZ you play. So Zergs usually don't like this map, TvZ. So if you want a map to do this strategy on, this is a really good map to do it on, simply because your third gets up fast and you can put on a lot of aggression and attack into his third, and also because the ramp at the natural, because of that, it allows your Hellions to deny creep really, really well. Because it's hard for him to push down a ramp because it sort of creates a little choke.
What's going on?
And also you can't put a creep tumor on the ramp. So that's another big thing. Alright. So yeah, with this build you're gonna feel like you are applying pressure to him, not vice versa, so you're able to get your third up relatively easily, and you can. Another thing is that it's really nice to turret on this map because your main and your third are basically touching the edge, so mutalisks can't fly all the way around like they can on a map like say Tal'Darim. So we'll see how that plays out this game, and I think this game he does 2-base baneling aggression, like really heavy baneling aggression, like almost like pretty much all in 2-base baneling all in. So you're gonna see how I deal with that and how I recognize it. So just starting off here, it's gonna be the same exact thing every time, which is what you want to do. You want to develop consistency. It also helps for your practice, because when you're doing the same thing every time, you'll get much better at it quickly than if you try to like alter your build in between games. If you guys find that you have the tendency to do that, like let's say you lose a game and you go like, oh, that didn't go well, I don't want to do that build again, I'm just gonna do something like a 3 racks all in, I just want to win, man, and then you lose that game and you're like, oh, maybe I should do like 2-port Banshee or something. Try to avoid that. Stick with one build. Make sure you know it's a decent build first though, and stick with that one build. And even if you lose with it, just when you lose, I want you to go over the replay and like find out where your mistake was. Like a lot of the times for me with this build, I would actually be way too aggressive with my force with the medevacs, and I would lose some of it, and then I would have a really hard time keeping my third out of pressure. So if it's something like that, just look at the replay and make sure you're doing it correctly, and then try again. That's how you're going to get better faster. You don't want to be always changing your build all the time. So this Overlord, he flies too far into my base, and with that Marine on the low ground, I'm able to snipe it. I probably could have sniped it with that one Marine in the main, actually. So I put my command center on the low ground, even though I haven't scouted him yet. Killing the Overlord delays the Lings anyway, so if you pick off an Overlord, I guess you can put it on the low ground, just as a general rule. I scout with my SCV and I see that a Queen just laid a creep tumor. There's no Spinecrawler on the way though. But that means that he did go for expansion hatch first. So these Hellions are just coming out right now. I'm getting stim done. I mean started. And then yeah, these 2 barracks go down in the right position. One's going to be floated onto the factory's reactor, and one is going to be next to the factory, which makes a new reactor for it. So I saw you got another creep tumor there. If I had gone in a little bit early, I probably could have sniped that one, unfortunately. But it's okay. This map, it's really hard to push creep down the ramp, and you'll see a lot of players get like more queens or maybe like 3 roaches or something in order to do it. At the higher levels, of course. So kill some Lings. He's kind of careless. He didn't keep him on hold position or put him behind the spine crawlers. And again, just notice what I do with my Hellions. I go in and I see what I can do, but I try not to take any damage on them if I can avoid it. So in this wall, I put my eBay. It's a big building, so you can wall kind of fast. And then just depots as necessary. With my Hellions, that second gas I added because of the eBay. So my Hellions, you can patrol them in front of Zerg's creep, and what that does is it basically pre-splits them. So if Lings run out, they're not going to be able to surround like all 6 of them or whatever. And I sort of just pre-split them myself. I stopped patrolling, and I got him in even positions. You want to make sure that you have vision of his creep, so that if you see a tumor, you can just run in and kill it. As you'll see I do here in a second. He tries to get a tumor out, and I can snipe it. Meanwhile, the build is standard. There's the tumor. You just come in and kill that, and then split him again. And you always want to be looking there on the minimap. That's going to be your goal when you do this build, is to always keep your Hellions, keep an eye on your Hellions and make sure that they don't get surrounded. So I get my +1 attack there. Combat shield started.
Additional supply depots.
Everything's going pretty smoothly. And he hasn't taken a third, of course.
Add-on complete.
So, and like, holy shit, Batman, that's a lot of lings, right? So just run away. You don't want to try to engage it. You're going to end up losing more Hellions than you want to. Just run away. So it looks like I managed to save 4. Now, the only reason he'd be going for that many lings, if you see that, just assume banelings. So look what I do here. I make 3 bunkers in specific locations. One at the top of the ramp in case I lose my natural. One at the natural next to the command center, and one at my wall. Now his banelings are out, so he's gonna kill my wall. Stim your Marines and attack into there. Those Marines that go up top is kind of dumb, but if the banelings start to walk in, you just want to pull Marines back that are in front of the banelings, let the rest kill them. Slow banelings can be kited by stim Marines all day. It's once they get baneling speed that they start to get scary, but you should be able to micro, just like A move into the banelings and only move Marines back that the banelings are heading towards with your stim Marines. So I get a little bit cocky here and I salvage this bunker sort of on reflex, and that was a huge mistake. I should never have done that, because a really good Zerg might go for a round 2. So that was a mistake, but luckily at this level he didn't, or he wasn't interested in doing a round 2 baneling bust. So my wall is up again, my medevacs are out, so I'm going to get these guys healed up. And actually I just send them across because the third is so close to my main, so might as well do that. With my Marauders out, I'm pretty confident that I can hold off
Upgrade complete.
pretty well some kind of attack, and if he does end up attacking me, then I'll be able to do damage with the drop. So it's a little bit of a trade-off there, kind of risky, but because I held that off without losing any units, that I'm pretty safe. So I'm able to deny his third here. And I load up again, and I use this abusive place right there. On Antigua Shipyard, I highly recommend you get used to using this this little ledge in TvZ. Because my dropships go there, I drop 1 on the low ground, 1 on the high ground, and what that's going to do is melee units like Zerglings and Banelings. Banelings aren't really melee, but they have to be next to you, of course. They're not going to be able to do anything, really. So if my Marines on the high ground start getting overwhelmed, then I can just pick them up, and the Marines on the low ground are going to do the damage. Then I can just drop them again. So as you can see there, I pick him up, and he runs the Banelings in and loses some. And I can go target Banelings, just like that. And in order to do that, you want to be A-clicking on the Banelings. Meanwhile, my main force is going to his third location again. And that one tank is going to be sieging up on the ledge, which is a really nice place to do it. I send my Marauders in front to tank damage, just in case he tries to engage that. And then my Marines in back. So I try to target those Banelings a little bit. I get one of them, and I lift up again. And I'm going to add production here because my third is almost done, and basically from this point on, I want to be making constant units, but then also adding production and upgrade facilities.
Unacceptable landing zone.
So I build a turret there. Basically on this map, you want to be building turrets at your third and your main, just like I am right now, and build them on the side, the outside of the mineral line.
Upgrade
Because mutalisks aren't going to be coming from the middle, so really you just want like 2 turrets at the top of your third and 2 turrets to the left of your main, and that's ideal. So I drop a Marine there just in case he wants to take this space. A lot of Zergs will do that, and I send the medevacs back to my main army because the mutalisks are out, and even though he only had like a couple there, he might be building up a big force and might be able to take out that cliff abuse force that I had.
unacceptable landing zone.
So now we add some barracks with the reactors, and I transferred SCVs to my third, as you see, and making it into a planetary. This map is actually really safe to make it into an orbital, but I just do it as a planetary for consistency's sake. Now I'm going to start doing a little push here because I have more forces coming. So I feel pretty confident that I can take whatever he has. My guys are in a really good position. right now.
Additional supply depots required.
So you'll see in a second here that he actually tries to come out and kill it, I think. And just because of the position, I didn't have to micro immediately. Like I still come out really ahead. And meanwhile, you want to be sending out big groups of units like this in waves. So of course I stim. Then if the banelings are coming, I just move guys back. But as you can see there, like even if I didn't move guys back, the banelings wouldn't have really done damage. And this is the way that you really want to deal with banelings. I see a lot of people that go like, oh, how do I split against banelings? I need to have perfect splits. But if you do everything well before that, then you're going to get yourself into a position where even banelings aren't really going to be the answer for him. So I moved my tanks up, and I think this needless pick off one of them, yeah. But there's a pretty big baneling hit here. Yeah, right there. But I still have so many marines that even though I'm not splitting well at all, like, it's over. He hasn't taken a third because he was 2 base all in. And he didn't have enough gas for the mutos, so nothing he can do at this point. GG. He leaves the game. Alrighty, so that's the TvZ part 2. Please give me some more feedback, and I will be producing more of these videos in the future. I'll probably do like more special videos, like, I don't know, going over baneling splitting, marine splitting against banelings and stuff like that. We'll see. I might stop for a bit and take like a few days break before I release another one. So I hope you guys like the ones that I've released so far. Thanks for watching. Bye.